games to 2. Tonight, Hiroki Kuroda on the mound. He is 4-1 lifetime against Pittsburgh, went 7 innings against them in Pennsylvania, allowed just 2 hits and no runs in the 7 innings and picked up a victory. A young left-hander, Jeff Locke, will be on the mound for Pittsburgh. It will be his second major league start and the first time he's gone up against the Dodgers. A medical report. Kuroda is pitching. He's had a bad neck. Then you have Tony Gwynn, who has a bad shoulder, hurt it in D.C., aggravated it against Arizona, so he's day-to-day. And the big news, Jonathan Broxton will have elbow surgery on Monday, as they say, loose particles. With all of that, we'll get to the ball game. We'll have it all for you coming up right after this. Ball on Prime Ticket is brought to you by Hyundai. The critics have spoken, but the cars speak for themselves, like the 2012 Sonata and Genesis. Visit your Southern California Hyundai dealer or MySoCalHyundai.com. By Lowe's. Experience Lowe's. Let's build something together. By CarMax. Now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. And by AT&T.
And welcome back, everybody. Got you some Friday night baseball set here on Prime Ticket. The Pirates and your Los Angeles Dodgers. Out here with Steve Lyons and Patrick O'Neill. So it's the rookie Jeff Locke, the lefty, going against Hiroki Kuroda. Kuroda's lost his last 2 starts, but he's got some great success against the Pirates. One more loss, however, though, would be the most for a Dodger since Fernando lost 17 in 1984.
Yeah.
But hopefully he can take care of the Pirates.
Yeah, certainly doesn't want to get that kind of a record, and he's pitched much better than that record most of the season. Has scuffled a little bit his last couple times out, but not against the Pirates. He has dominated this team in his career. 4-1 with an excellent numbers. You see the numbers right there. He's only had 1 start against them so far this season, and he dominated in that one. Gave up no runs in 7 innings. As long as he establishes that fastball early in the count with strikes, then he can expand the strike zone late and get him to swing at pitches that aren't strikes.
You know what, he's done a great job this year. He's always taking the ball, so I think we're both hopeful that he comes back next year, makes that decision, because he really has been outstanding, just has lacked the run support. We're going to be here for post-game show where the skipper joins us. We'll see you then. Vin's got the call next.
Time, Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo is back for only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. By your Southern California Ford dealers, visit us today, trade up to Ford, and buy Corona. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. We're at Dodger Stadium for the Friday night edition of the Dodgers and the Pittsburgh Pirates. We have tomorrow night and Sunday before the Bucks leave town, and the Giants then will be here starting Tuesday night for the final 3 home games of the year. As the Dodgers and the children take the field, the Dodgers getting ready for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Dodgers mathematically were clinching the fact that they could not win the division. That's been an old story. Now, of course, they're faced with a very long prospect anyway. One more loss, and they don't have a chance at the wild card. Clint Hurdle, he's not worrying about that. Clint Hurdle had a ball club that was doing very well for 100 games, and the bottom dropped out. Here's his lineup tonight. Alex Presley in center field. Neil Walker at second base. Ryan Dumit, the catcher, and then Derek Lee at first. Garrett Jones will be in right field. Ryan Ludwig will be in left. Pedro Alvarez at third base. Ronnie Cedeno at shortstop, and young Jeff Locke on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, 36-year-old Hiroki Kuroda. He is 1-0. He went 7 innings and had a 2-hit shutout against the Pirates. Beat them 2-0. He is 4-1 in his career. Interesting sidebar on Hiroki Kuroda. He is 11-16. Yet his earned run average of 3.2 is better than 6 starting pitchers who were selected to the All-Star game. And there's another thought about Hiroki. Should he lose tonight, he will have lost 17 games. The last time the Dodgers had a pitcher lose 17, Fernando Valenzuela in 1984 was 12-17 with a brilliant earned run average of 3. And then 2 years later, Fernando won 21 and had 20 complete games. Here are the Dodgers with the leather behind Kuroda. They shape up this way. Starting in the outfield, Rivera, Kemp, and Sands. The infield with Justin Sellers and then D. Gordon, Jamie Carroll, and Russ Mitchell playing first. Behind the plate, Rod Barajas, and Hero, as they call him, on the mound. Talking about heroes, we have already had true heroes tonight as we celebrated the honor and the valor of the members of the Los Angeles Police Department as well as the Sheriff Department. In fact, we had a great first ball ceremony before the game began. Kuroda's first pitch in for a strike to Presley, and the count 0-1. From the LAPD, Chief Beck, and from the Sheriff's Department, Assistant Sheriff Marvin Cavanaugh threw out the first ball. 0-1 to Alex. The strike one pitch on the way is outside, 1-1. I'm wondering, could we take a little profile of Alex Presley? This is kind of a personal thing. Let's see as he lifts his head. My wife says he looks so much like Tom Cruise. What do you think? All right. And the 1-1 pitch, a one-hopper at second baseman Jamie Carroll, and just like that, one away. So Alex Presley, a hopper to second, one down, and the batter will be Neil Walker. Neil Walker has played 45 straight games at second base without an error. Neil last night 1 for 4, doubled, flied to left a couple of times and struck out. The Pirates this year were doing very well. We mentioned they were in first place after 100 games. They had a record of 53-47. And then the Pirates defeated the Reds on July 19th, 1-0. That put them 7 games above 500, and that was their highest point of the season. The 1-0 pitch is ball 2. Since that date, they went 16-37, and then they lost to make it 16-38. Now they will finish below 500. So it's been a complete turnaround. 2-0 pitch is fouled away by Neil, and it's 2-1 to count. Also, to pump up the Pirates, you have to remember, at the trade deadline, they acquired first baseman Derek Lee on July 30th. On the 31st, Clint Hurdle got outfielder Ryan Ludwig. By that time, they had slipped into third place, but Derek Lee and company were only 4.5 games out. And then the offense went south, the runs per game dropped, and the pitching also disappeared, and the long downward spiral began. 2-1 the count to Neil Walker. Kuroda rocks and turns. Hero over the plate, low and inside. Ball 3, 3-1. So the Dodgers and the Pirates, game 2 of the 4-game series. And Hiroki Kuroda, and we mentioned earlier the Dodgers have a bit of a casualty list going into this game. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Neil Walker, and that's promptly hit over the head of Mitchell down the right field line. Jerry Sands in pursuit. Walker's into second base, and he will hold there. A wide throw run down by D. Gordon. So Neil Walker, a line drive double into the right field corner. That'll match his double to right field last night. Got a pitch down and in at the knees and really turned on it and cranked it into the corner. So for Neil Walker, still hitting the ball very well and waiting for a ride home from second base with one out. The batter now is Ryan Doumit, and Doumit particularly hot, hitting .303, and especially against the Dodgers. He was 2 for 4 last night. He is 9 for 16 against the Dodgers this year. Switch hitting catcher, batting left-handed. Kuroda ready. Hero deals, drops a curveball in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. Neil Walker out there at second base has reached base safely now. 15 of his last 16. Very good hitter. He leads all second basemen. He has 80 RBIs. There's the strike one pitch to Ryan Doumit. Ryan backs away, the pitch way inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Couple of things overall about the Pirates. What they do well. Well, They get a lot of infield hits. They do a very good job of scoring runners from third base with less than 2 outs. And they are basically a ground ball hitting team, which also hurts them. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way, fouled off. The reason being a ground ball hitting team, they have grounded into 118 double plays. That's 38% higher than the average National League team. So you can't have it all. If you're going to kill worms and hit ground balls for base hits and infield hits, you're going to hit into double plays. 1-2 the count to Ryan Domit with big Derek Lee on deck. Kuroda starts to go to a stretch and then backs off the rubbers. Domit this month has played 13 games and he's hitting .459. The dangerous left-hand hitting catcher. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Kuroda delivers and it's very high. Ball 2 with a fastball. That evens it up 2-2. The Pirates have been shuffling cards behind the plate. They signed Matt Pagnozzi. He's a relative of the veteran catcher from years ago, Tom Pagnozzi, especially of the Cardinals. And Matt becomes the 9th Pirate catcher this year. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Ryan Domit. Kuroda delivers and he swings and doesn't get it. So Domit goes down for the second out, and the batter will be Derek Lee.
Batting next, first baseman number 25.
Derek Lee, as we mentioned, came over at the trade deadline on July 30th, and he has certainly done his share, hitting better than .350 with runners in scoring position, hitting .364 against right-hand pitching. So for the Bucks, he's hitting .365, 5 home runs and 14 runs batted in. Big right-hand hitter. He's 6'5". Veteran takes off the plate. Ball 1, 1-0. Derek Lee lost some time. He was on the disabled list. He had a bone fracture in his left wrist. That put him down for about 3 weeks at least. The 1-0 pitch on the way to Derek. Kuroda delivers. Fastball hit to third. Up with it there is Sellers. Gets it across to first. And that's that. So the Pirates waste their 1-out double by Neil Walker. And at the end of half an inning, Pirates nothing, Dodgers coming up. Double, but he also struck out one, and we go to the bottom of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Dodger lineup. D. Gordon leading off at short with Justin Sellers at third. Then you have Matt Kemp, Juan Rivera in left, Jerry Sands in right, Rod Barajas. Russ Mitchell is at first base tonight. Jamie Carroll at second, Hiroki Kuroda on the mound. On the mound for Pittsburgh, young Jeff Locke, 23 years old. He'd be 24 in November. Ran up against Florida in his major league debut. Anibal Sanchez was working on a one-hitter in that game, and young Jeff lost. He allowed 3 earned runs. His big problem was trying to get a first pitch strike. He's 6'2", 180, out of North Conway, New Hampshire, and he was a second-round pick by the Braves 5 years ago. The left-hander deals off the plate, ball 1. That's been his problem in his previous start. 1-0 to Gordon. So Jeff, a New Englander, grew up a Red Sox fan. His 1-0 pitch, again a fastball off the plate, and he's behind 2-0. D. Gordon hitting .272, 8 runs batted in, and the proud possessor of 19 stolen bases. The 2-0 pitch is a fastball on the inside corner at the knees, and the count 2-1. Locke was sent by the Braves to Pittsburgh when Atlanta acquired Nate McLouth. The next pitch is low, ball 3, 3-1. And all the pitchers know you walk Gordon is just about giving up a double. For young Locke, fastball, pretty heavy sinking two-seamer. The 3-1 pitch, and that's in there. He's been clocked as high as 93. He has a kind of a curveball slider, as they call him, a slurvy curve, and a changeup. 3-2 pitch to Gordon, fastball, comebacker, knocked down. Locke plenty of time and throws him out. So 1 away here in the first inning. The batter will be Justin Sellers. We'll take a look at the Pirates, the way they shape up. Ludwig, Presley, and Jones in the outfield, with Alvarez, Cedeno, Walker, and Lee on the infield. Ryan Domet behind the plate, and Jeff Locke on the mound. So with 1 away, here's Justin Sellers. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Sellers, even though he doesn't have much of an average, hitting .214, believe it or not, he's hitting .391 with runners in scoring position. He backs off on ball 1. He's also hitting .316 with runners on base. So he's quite a young candidate. He can play short, second, and third. The 1-0 pitch, Justin swings, doesn't get it. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 to Sellers. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Dodgers have handled Pittsburgh very well since 2001. The pitch to Sellers high, 2-1 the count. Dodgers have a record against the Pirates, 54-23. They have really overpowered them. 2-1 pitch on the way is a fly ball down the left field line. Ludwig a long way to come in foul ground, and the ball is back in the stands, out of play. Gentleman wearing a Dodger t-shirt brought his glove, made the catch. 2-2 the count to Justin Sellers. The Dodgers are so-so against left-hand pitching. They're 9-10 at home, and Don's club total 19 wins and 20 losses against left-hand starters. Locke, feet together on the rubber. Jeff turns his 2-2 pitch, swung on and popped up. Big league pop fly. Neil Walker waiting and waiting and waiting, and makes the catch for the second out. So 2 down here in the first inning, and the batter will be Matt Kemp.
Dodgers center fielder number 27, Matt Kemp.
Matt Kemp will check in with his glistening numbers with 2 down and the bases empty. Matt's batting average at .314, 33 home runs, 110 runs batted in. The Bucs shut him down last night, struck out, grounded out, flied out, and for good measure was hit by a pitch. Locke ready, delivers, fastball low, ball 1. Will duck in to score. The Giants are leading the Rockies 6-1 in the 7th inning. Madison Bumgarner pitching that. Remember, Bumgarner started the year 0-6. He could wind up tonight 12-12. Pitch to Kemp, in for a strike. The Padres, meanwhile, are leading the Diamondbacks 2-0 in the first inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch coming up to Matt Kemp. Left-hander deals, and it's probably banged into left center for a base hit. Ludwig over to come up with the ball, and Matt will hold on with a long 2-out single to left field. In that Padre game, Jesus Guzman singled in a run, and the catcher Nick Hundley doubled in another. So with 2 out, Matt Kemp singles and Juan Rivera coming up. Locke has given up the hit. Now we'll work out of his stretch and keep an eye on Kemp. Matt, as you may know, 39 stolen bases, was thrown out trying to get his 40th back in the 6th inning. No score, first inning, 2 out. Rivera at the plate, Locke set and goes to first. Easy throw, the commercial move, trying to sell Matt Kemp, but he wouldn't buy that. Jeff Locke, kid out of New Hampshire, where he comes from, among other things, they grow some pretty good pitchers. Left-hander ready. So is Rivera. Fastball is popped up on the left side, and the shortstop Cedeno puts it away. Who are the other pitchers from New Hampshire? Well, Mike Flanagan, Bob Tewksbury, and Chris Carpenter. And at the end of an inning, no score. And the 6th meeting of the scheduled 8. Dodgers played 4 there and 4 more here. Garrett Jones, Ryan Ludwig, and then the third baseman Alvarez, and Kuroda about ready to go to work. Garrett, left-hand hitter, and holds up on a pitch high. Jones hitting .246, 15 home runs, 56 runs batted in. Came off the bench last night as a pinch hitter and struck out. Garrett waiting on the 1-0 pitch, and Kuroda works a splitter low. 2-0 the count. For Garrett Jones out of Harvey, Illinois, went to Tinley Park High School, a 14th round pick for the Braves, has been running a little wild on the base paths. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Garrett, foul back to the screen. 4th highest in outs on the bases as a base runner. He's been nailed 10 times. But of course, Pittsburgh will always remember July the 1st, 2009. He was called up to the major leagues and hit 7 home runs in his first 12 games. The 2-1 pitch is high and away, ball 3. For the month of July that year, Garrett Jones hit 10 home runs, the most of any major league player. Most home runs in a month. Wilva Stargell did it to lead the majors in 1971. 3-1 pitch hammered to right field. Going back and ready to play it off the wall is Jerry Sands. Holding with a long single is Garrett Jones. Nice defensive play by Sands, as he realized immediately he could not make a play on it. So Jones a leadoff single to right, and that ball was drilled, and the batter will be Ryan Ludwig. Sands barehands it and guns it back in. Jerry has been very impressive defensively, whether playing left or right, and he's had some pretty good at-bats as well along the way. So he'd be finishing up the year on a somewhat high note. The veteran Ryan Ludwig checking in. Joined the ball club the end of July. Right-hand hitter, batting just .242, fouls a pitch away. 0-1 the count to Ryan Ludwig. Born in Florida, lives over in Las Vegas. That's where he went to the university. Ryan was a second-round pick by the A's in 1999. He has power. He's hit as many as 37 home runs. He did that just 3 years ago with the Cardinals. He has 12 now. Strike one pitch on the way. Ludwig takes way inside at the knuckles, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. So Ludwig trying to get the Bucks on the board. The Pirates get caught running the bases. We mentioned Garrett Jones making 10 outs on the bases. Ludwig has a look at a strike, and the count 1-2. To further explain, the Pirates are third highest in having runners picked off 14 times. They're second highest in caught stealing. So we'll see what Clint does this time. With Jones at first, nobody out, no score, second inning. Kuroda out of a stretch, and the 1-2 pitch instead is a throw to first. Ludwig, in his 17 starts with the Bucks, has reached base safely 17 straight games. He has 1 home run with the Pirates, and that was against the Brewers. So Ryan waiting. 33 years old, well put together, 6'3", 210, takes an off-speed pitch away, and that runs the count some more to 2-2. Ludwig's older brother Eric, you may remember, was a major league pitcher for the Marlins, and also once pitched in the A's organization after they got him in a Mark McGwire trade. 2-2 to Ryan Ludwig. Kuroda, high set up around the face, watching Garrett Jones. Back to Ludwig off the plate, and he goes all the way. Well, let's figure it out. Ludwig, as a Buck, has had 89 at-bats and has struck out a surprising 25 times. He has grounded into 1 double play with Pittsburgh, and he had grounded in 9 before he came over. So does that mean they run Jones? We'll find out. 3-2 to Ryan Ludwig. Jones at first, nobody out. Alvarez on deck. Kuroda out of a stretch. Right-hander ready. There goes the runner, and the pitch is fouled away. So 3-2. Garrett Jones back to first. Kuroda gave up a 1-out double in the first inning. Now gives up a leadoff single in the second, and goes 3-2 to Ryan Ludwig. So we saw Jones break on the 3-2, and he figures to be going again. Ludwig waiting. Kuroda set. There goes Jones, and the ball is reached for. Long fly ball to center. Kemp goes back to make the catch. Boy, I'll tell you what, these fellas are so strong. Jones back on the bag. You can join us Sunday for Fan Appreciation Day. The Dodgers saluting their great fans. They face the Pirates at 1:10. Prizes given away throughout the game, including season tickets for next year, a sharp high-definition TV, autographed Dodger memorabilia, and a brand-new Hyundai Elantra. For tickets, list of prizes, and official rules, visit Dodgers.com/Fan Appreciation Day. So Ludwig, a long fly ball to center. And here is Pedro Alvarez, left-hand hitter, and he takes low, ball one. Ludwig reached across the plate. I mean, it wasn't like he had a big Joe DiMaggio type swing, and he was still able to hit the ball deep into right center field. Some of them are truly remarkable. One away, second inning, no score. Ludwig now an observer as Alvarez waits at the plate, left-hand batter. 1-0 pitch is swung on and fouled away. Pedro, 24 years old, from Santo Domingo, lives in Nashville, Tennessee. Pirates think highly of him. He was a first-round pick 3 years ago. He was the National League Rookie of the Month last year, Player of the Week, played in the Futures game, member of Team USA, the World Cup in 2009. So worth keeping an eye on. Pedro Alvarez, and he takes high, batting just 195, 3 home runs, 15 runs batted in. Alvarez has been in a total of 63 games. So Alvarez has some power. He had 16 home runs last year. 2-1 pitch on the way. Here comes Kuroda, and it's way off the plate. Ball 3, 3-1 the count. Let's face it, Kuroda is not 100%. It's no excuse. He wouldn't allow you to use it as an excuse, but he has a painful neck. He's had treatment. It still hurts, but he's out there on a 3-1 count. Hiroki, a high set again, looks over at first. 3-1 pitch is low. So after going 3-2 to Ludwig and getting him on what might have been ball 4, he then walks Alvarez. Down to second goes Jones, and the batter is Ronnie Cedeno. Ronnie Cedeno, the shortstop, hitting .256. He has 2 home runs, 31 runs batted in. He's from Carabobo in Venezuela and was originally signed by the Cubs as a free agent. A very, very, very aggressive hitter. He takes ball 1. How do you define aggressive? Well, in 2009 and 2010, Cedeno struck out more than 4 times as often as he walked. Let's see if he's improved at all. He has walked 29 times. Struck out 84. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Cedeno, right-hand hitter, hits a ball back to Kuroda. He has to wait for shortstop Gordon, who then throws it into the Pirate dugout. So D. Gordon, with that big Alvarez coming down towards him, tried to get the ball over Alvarez's head and threw it away. And the Bucks say thank you very much. Jones brings it in, and the Pirates lead 1-0. We told you that the Pirates hit into a lot of double plays, and that looked like it was going to be another. Gordon has a tendency once in a while not to throw the ball over the top. Every now and then he'll scale the ball. He'll drop his right arm, and it looks like his fingers are almost under the ball, and it sails. He's going to have to get accustomed to making that directly over the top throw, and that'll get rid of some of those errors. So it is 1-0 Pittsburgh with 2 out, and the batter now is the pitcher, Jeff Locke. Jeff, left-hand batter, looks at a strike. So Garrett Jones brings the run in on the throwing error charge to D. Gordon, and the Bucks take a 1-0 lead. They won last night 6-2. Strike 1 pitch on the way, and Locke swings, doesn't get it, and the count 0-2. Locke making his big league debut only had 1 at bat and went 0 for 1 against the Marlins. So can't really tell whether he can swing the bat or not. 0-2 the count. Kuroda out of his stretch, ready, fires high and away, ball 1. Hiroki now has made 37 pitches, which means 15 in the first inning, but more importantly, 22 pitches here in the second. Kuroda out of his stretch, and the 1-2 pitch to Locke swung on and missed, and down he goes. However, the error gives the Bucks a run. 1 run, 1 hit, a walk, and the throwing error, and the Pirates lead 1-0. Play only because of the throwing error by D. Gordon, and they pick up a run. So we go to the bottom of the second inning, 1-0 Pittsburgh. When Jeff Locke was pitching, and he's going to face Jerry Sands to start it off, when Locke was pitching against the Marlins, he had a lot of trouble getting the first pitch for a strike. Well, he faced 4 batters in the first inning, and 3 of the 4 batters were retired, despite falling behind as far as Locke was concerned with that first pitch. So we'll see if he can get it over. That's the old commandment for Major League pitching. Get the first pitch for a strike and get the leadoff hitter in the inning. Well, he was able to get Gordon in the first inning. Now he'll go after Jerry Sands. Jerry Sands hitting .216, 2 home runs, 21 runs batted in, takes a strike. And the count 0-1. Jerry, 6'4" and about 220, really put together. Has a lot of power to right center and right field. The strike 1 pitch turns him around and gets him out of there. Fastball in at the ribs at 89. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Sands turned around as if he were on a turntable. Locke ready and comes back 1-1, and it's promptly banged into right center. That's his power alley. Over to cut it off is Garrett Jones. On his way for 2 is Sands in there with a double. So Jerry Sands, young, strong, and fast, and finds the gap in right center field for the long double. So the tying run at second, nobody out, with Barajas, Mitchell, and Carroll coming in. Cedeno thought he might have had him. It was awfully close. The tag was applied a fraction of a second after the foot was on the bag. So Sands opens up with a double. For Jerry, that would be his 12th double. He has no triples. And here's Barajas. 15 home runs, 43 runs batted in. Locke ready and delivers. Rod takes off the plate. Ball 1. 1-0. Barajas with the power of the 15 home runs. I'm not sure if it still holds up, but up until a couple of weeks ago, he was the #1 fly ball hitter in the league. He's facing a team that's 4th in hitting the ball on the ground. 1-0 to Rod Barajas. Lock ready. Here he comes. Fastball at the knees for a strike. 1-1. That sinking fastball, and he changes a lot of speeds on it. But as they say, it has good sink. It'll go anywhere from the mid-80s up into about 92, 93, although we haven't seen him hit 93 yet. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Off speed, whack down the left field line. Fair ball into the corner. Sands will score. Barajas into second, and it looked like a hanging curveball, and Rod was all over it. And we have a 1-1 tie. So Barajas just waiting and then turning and hit it just on the chalk. Jeff Kellogg, the third base umpire, right there to make the call. So Sands comes home on back-to-back doubles. And now Russ Mitchell will be coming up, trying to get Barajas home and give the Dodgers a lead. So Russ Mitchell, who played third base last night and played well, and among other things, lined out to third, homered, fouled out, and walked. Now tonight, he moves over to play first base. He has 2 home runs, 2 runs batted in. Jamie Carroll on deck. So Russ Mitchell out of Rome, Georgia, and the right-hand hitter checking in. Out of his stretch goes Jeff Locke. Left-handed delivers inside, ball 1, 1-0. Mitchell won the 2009 Sportsmanship Award in the Arizona Fall League, given to a player who exemplifies leadership, unselfishness, and hard work. Well, he's all of that. The 1-0 pitch, Russ bounces it foul outside of first and down the line, and the count 1-1. Russ Mitchell, a 15th round pick by the Dodgers. Back in 2003, they picked him up out of high school. Dodgers are looking at him as a third baseman, as a first baseman. He can also play a little outfield, and he has done a little practice in catching in the bullpen, etc. 1-1. Russ, 26 years old. Jeff Locke delivers, and the pitch missing inside and low. Fastball, and the count 2-1. When Locke came into the game, with all the numbers, I always find it very important to look at walks and strikeouts. He had 4 walks and 1 strikeout. So that tells you a little something by him. He's fighting his control, but of course not much to judge since he's only had 1 game. So far tonight, he has given up a couple of doubles and a single and 1 run. Barajas taking his lead with Cedeno behind him. Locke's fastball punched to the right side. Nice stop by Walker to take a hit away from Mitchell, but Mitchell did, by going that way, move Barajas over to third. So a fine play by Neil Walker. So Mitchell taking that breaking ball, almost hit it into right field, and Walker on his right knee throwing accurately. So with 1 out, a tiebreaker in Barajas at third. We take another look at Walker. He is quite a solid all-around ball player. Walker hitting in the 270s, doubled in the first inning, 45 straight games without an error. The Bucks now bring the infield halfway as Jamie Carroll checks in. Jamie hitting 288 and has a look at a big hook low, ball 1. Hiroki Kuroda on deck. Tim Wallach looking into the dugout, then he'll pass it along to Barajas. He is certainly not looking squeezed with Big Rod down there. Jamie bends at the knees and waist, waiting at the plate. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Carroll has a look, and that's low. So Locke's going to have to throw a strike to Jamie Carroll. And they count 2 balls and no strikes. Sands doubled into right center. Barajas doubled down the line into the left field corner. And we have a 1-1 tie. 1 away in the inning, and Hiroki Kuroda on deck. Locke nods yes. Jeff set. And his 2-0 pitch, fastball in there. And that's at 89. And a 2-1 count. When Jeff Locke was growing up in high school, you know how the high school papers love alliteration. Well, he was from an area in Conway, New Hampshire. The area was called Redstone. So you got it. He was the Redstone Rocket. 2-1 the count to Jamie Carroll. Off-speed breaking ball inside at the hands. Ball 3. He got burned on that slow curveball to Rod Barajas. 3-1 the count to Carroll. Again, Wallach over talking to Barajas. Jamie has a long look down there. You can imagine the thoughts of Ryan Dumit, the Pirate catcher, looking at Barajas. I hope he's not coming. The 3-1 pitch swung on, ground ball to Cedeno. He holds Barajas, fires to Lee for the out. So 2 down. Barajas still at third, and Hiroki Kuroda will be coming up. Kuroda has a half a dozen hits. He has 1 run batted in, and he strikes out about a third of the time. So he's actually improved a little bit. So Hiroki checking in. The Pirate infield goes back to a normal depth. Now watch Hiroki. He might show bunt on every pitch. He's been doing that a bit. Straight up right hand batter, bends slightly at the hips, does not show bunt, but backs off, and it's low. Ball 1. 1-0. Big play so far by Neil Walker at second base, taking a base hit and what might have been an RBI away from Russ Mitchell. 1-0 the count to Kuroda. He backs off, takes a strike, and the count 1-1. Pirates 1 run, 2 hits. They had Jones single, Alvarez walk, and instead of the turning the double play, the Dodgers had D. Gordon throw one away, and the run scored. 1-1 pitch on the way, and that's at the knees for a strike. 1-2. Mark Carlson is the plate umpire. 12 years in the big leagues, lives in Illinois, served in the Marines, and if you see Mark in civilian clothes, you'll understand he's a former Marine. 1-2 pitch, grounded foul off to the right of the plate. So 1-2 the count. One other thought about Mark Carlson, it's only right he should be behind the plate. He went to Parkland College and was a catcher, so he's very much at home there. 1-2 the count to Kuroda, and a slow curveball hit to the left of the mound. Locke has it, fires to first, and that's that. So a couple of doubles for a run. The Dodgers get even, and we're heading to the third in a 1-1 tie. Stadium comes alive between 2 and 6. Music, food, games, and fun for the whole family before the game at LA Gran Fiesta. Viva Los Dodgers. Presented by Coca-Cola, Hyundai, and Time Warner Cable. LA Gran Fiesta is free with your ticket to the game with the Pirates. For tickets, go to Dodgers.com/Viva today. We mentioned earlier yesterday during the ball game that the Pirates have had 19 consecutive losing seasons. But they've been and will always be, I'm sure, a very interesting franchise. And by the way, the Pirates will open up 2012 here at Dodger Stadium, and that's nothing new. Do you know the Pirates opened on the road for 60 straight years, from 1894 to 1953? They also opened in 20 of 33 years on the road, from 1954 through 1986. Leading off for the second time around, Alex Presley, and he takes ball 1. Major League's first opening night was way back in 1950. It was in St. Louis, and the Pirates were the team against the Cardinals. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Presley looks at a strike, and the count 1-1. And another thing, you don't dismiss the Pirates because they've had losing seasons. This is a franchise, the only team to have 8 players appear in an all-star game. 8 back in 1960. The 1-1 pitch is low. Who were the 8? Well, Bob Skinner, Bill Mazeroski, Bob Friend, Dick Grote, who won the batting title, the great Roberto Clemente, the catcher Smokey Burgess. That's popped in the air. Angling across is D. Gordon. Coming in behind him, Rivera, but D makes the catch, and we have 1 away. And there was also Leroy Face and Vernon Law. Some great names in the past. So you just don't dismiss a great franchise like Pittsburgh just because they're going through a lean period. They've given baseball fans some great thrills. 1 away, and here's Neil Walker, who doubled to right field in the first inning, hitting a solid .272 with 12 home runs, 80 runs batted in. Neil has a look at a strike, and the count 0-1. Walker, the rarity indeed, born in Pittsburgh, and a first-round pick by the Pirates. He lifts a fly ball to center, and deep. Back goes Kemp, just on the track to make the catch for the out. Maybe 5 or 6 feet shy of the wall. So a long fly ball. Walker swings that bat very well. And the hitter will be Ryan Domit, who struck out in the first inning. 1 run, 2 hits for the Bucks. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers with an error. We mentioned earlier that when they signed Matt Pagnozzi, the Pirates have had 9 catchers this year. 9. An amazing number. Domit takes a strike. But in the glory years in the 70s, one catcher, Manny Sanguian, caught nearly 1,300 games for the Pirates. He hit .299. He caught in 7 postseason series, and that's with the Stargell Clemente Pirates. Pitch swung on and missed, 0-2. Manny Sanguian, back in 1970, hit .325. For a catcher, a right-hand hitter, he finished tied for second in the batting race. And 5 years later, he hit .328 and finished third. Here's the strike 2 pitch on the way. Kuroda ready and delivers high, ball 1. 1-2 the count to Ryan Domit. We're in the third in a 1-1 tie. Switch hitter batting left-handed. And the 1-2 pitch low in the dirt, and new ball put in play. 2 balls and 2 strikes in this 1-1 tie. Ryan has improved a bit in his throwing. Last year he nailed only 12%. This year he's nailed 24% of the runners. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. Ryan takes strike 3 called on the outside corner. That'll do it for the Bucks in the 3rd inning. Down they go, and at the end of 2 1/2, Pirates 1, Dodgers 1, as a running pitch is pulled a bit by Barajas to make it a strike. And Matt Kemp. Gordon with 8 runs batted in, checking in against Jeff Locke. Immediately, Pedro Alvarez plays in on the grass. Derek Lee shortens up at first, and Young D checks in. No home runs. 8 runs batted in. And Locke into the windup and delivers, and it's fouled away, 0-1. Of course, talking about the Pirates and the history of the Bucks, and the fact, for instance, that the young shortstop Dee Gordon, no home runs. There was a pretty colorful character who played short for the Pirates named Rabbit Moranville. They pitched low and away, 1-1. Admittedly, it's a long time ago, 1922, but if you like to read baseball history, you'll find that name, Rabbit Moranville. Anyway, he had 672 at-bats and never had a home run. There's a line drive into center field, base hit. Presley gets it back in, and so Dee Gordon now with a base hit, perhaps ready to steal. Gordon so far, 19 stolen bases, has been caught 5. The Pirates had a great base stealer back in the same days of Rabbit Moranville. His name was Max Carey, and he stole 51 bases and was caught twice. 51 out of 53. So let's see about Gordon in a 1-1 tie in the 3rd. Lock set, ready, comes to the plate, low in the dirt. Nice save by doing it. 1 ball and no strikes. Of course, any catcher in the league fully aware of Gordon. And of course, the Pirates got a taste of him in the 1st inning last night. He had a pop fly single to right center and promptly stole second. Of course, now he's looking at a left-hander and vice versa. Lock out of a stretch. Gordon takes his lead, and a throw over there to send him back to the bag. One ball and no strikes to Justin Sellers. Dodgers trying to get back to 500. Sure, you say that's an old story, but they're trying to get back to 500 at home. Dodgers are 37-38. you are going nowhere but home in the postseason if you can't do a heck of a lot better than that. All the teams who are going do the old story, win big at home and try to play 500 on the road. Next pitch is inside, 2 balls and no strikes. The Yankees are 46-27 at home. Detroit 45-29. Texas 49-29. Philadelphia 51-22. Milwaukee 52-23. Arizona 45-27. And then you look at the Dodgers, 37-38. 2-1 the count now to Justin Sellers. Matt Kemp waiting on deck. 1-1 tie. Jeff Locke in his second major league start. Kemp trying to time him from the on deck circle. And the 2-1 pitch coming up, instead a throw to first. 1 run, 2 hits for the Pirates. 1 run, 4 hits for the Dodgers. They had back-to-back doubles to get the run in the second inning. Locke peering in to get a sign. Now the 2-1 pitch on the way. Left-hander deals very high. Ball 3. 3-1. So as soon as you took one look at his first game, and no doubt nervousness certainly had a part of that. 4 walks, 1 strikeout. You knew he might have trouble with his control. In Altoona this year, 46 walks and 114 strikeouts. The 3-1, there goes Gordon on ball 4 to Justin Sellers. So it's the same distance from the mound to home plate as it is in Altoona. It is the same distance at Myrtle Beach and Lynchburg and Rome. But it's a big difference when you get to the big leagues. So first and second, nobody out, and Matt Kemp coming up. Kemp singles sharply to left field in the first inning. We have a 1-1 tie here in the third inning. The Dodgers and Pirates, game 2 of the 4-game series. James McDonald tomorrow night, former Dodger property, and he'll go up against Ted Lilly. And then Sunday afternoon, Brad Lincoln will go against Chad Billingsley. Draped on the railing, James McDonald chewing on sunflower seeds and taking in the action. All right, Kemp checks in at the plate. 110 runs batted in. Locke in trouble, comes to his hitter, gets a strike at the knees, and the count 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Matt right up there. All kinds of credentials. Locke very deliberate. Looks back at Walker, who darts to the bag, but no throw. 0-1 the count. So first and second, nobody out. Dodgers trying to unnerve the young left-hander, and Cedeno spotted that. So the shortstop comes in to try and talk him down to earth again. Kemp first in will make him second in runs scored with 99, 4th in his batting average, tied for 3rd in home runs, 2nd in stolen bases. I mean, the list goes on and on. 0-1 to Matt Kemp. Locke ready, double checking, now to the plate, and he's low at Kemp's feet. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Locke certainly has his hands full here. Gordon singles, Sellers walks, and now the big guy's at the plate. Locke leans on his right knee to get a sign. A good look at Ryan Domit's signs. Now the left-hander straightens up, and the 1-1 pitch. Runners hold, and it's swung on and missed. 1-2. Locke is 6'2", and about 180 pounds. Jeff, 23 years old, been pitching professionally for about 5 years. So in a hold, trying to get out of it. 1 ball, 2 strike count to Kemp with 2 on and nobody out. Jeff straightens up, set, looks back at second, back to the plate, low and inside. 2-2 the count. He's throwing a lot of those two-seam sinkers, but they're not coming up there in the middle 90s. Most of them are around 88, 87. 2-2 to Matt Kemp. Jeff straightens up, ready, here he comes, and it's fouled away. Took a lot off that pitch. 70-some-odd straight change. Matt fouling it off to the right. Pirates here tomorrow night and again Sunday afternoon. Locke again, looking in, getting a sign. Now the 2-2 pitch to Matt Kemp, swung on, banged into left center, base hit. Gordon scores. On his way to third is Sellers, and the Dodgers lead 2-1. Well, Matt Kemp building a picket fence in the RBI column, 111 ribbies. So D. Gordon breezes in. All the way to third goes Sellers. Still nobody out. Dodgers 2 runs and 5 hits. The Pirates, we were talking about road and home with the Dodgers. Last year, the Pirates on the road, they won 17 games. 17 and lost 64. Ray Searage, who formerly pitched for the Dodgers in his 7-8 year career. Ray, the pitching coach for the Pirates, going out. So that'll give us an idea about the Pirates. 17-64. That matched the all-time worst road record in a 162 game season. Who set the mark? Well, sure. The 1962 New York Mets. Now this year the Pirates have certainly improved. They're 34-38, but they paid the price because they've only won 34 games at home. So this game is so difficult to figure out. They've vastly improved on the road, struggling at home. Ray Searage, who is a left-hand pitcher in his own right, giving Jeff Locke a real good pep talk and a pat on the chest before he heads back to the dugout. So Locke now facing Rivera, Sands, and Barajas. Dodgers loading the lineup. The only left-hand hitter in the lineup tonight is D. Gordon. So here's Rivera, popped up in the first inning, and with all of his other problems, Locke has to worry about Matt Kemp at first. The pitch to Rivera, down and away, ball 1. Nice save by Ryan Doumit. Rivera hitting .282, 3 home runs, 34 runs batted in. 1 ball and no strikes. Locke again straightens up, set at the belt. Back to the plate he comes, and this time breaking ball for a strike, 1-1. So Matt Kemp at first, Justin Sellers at third. Sellers runs well. Dodgers lead 2-1. Trying to beat Pittsburgh for the 5th or the 4th time. Remember the 8 games this year between the 2 teams. Now the 1-1 pitch to Juan Rivera. There goes Kemp. Ground ball to third. They're going to get 1. Walker makes a good save. The throw to first not in time. The throw by Pedro Alvarez was almost to center field. So Walker getting to the bag, had a stretch to get it and couldn't get it to first in time. So Rivera hits into the force play. Scoring is Sellers. Walker tried, but no chance. though the Dodgers have scored twice and lead 3-1. So where the Pirates are plagued by hitting into double plays, they're not doing so well defensively. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 2 hits for the Pirates. And now Jerry Sands. Sands doubled to right center and scored a run in the second inning. Rivera, meanwhile, at first base, picks up a run batted in. So 3-1 Dodgers, bottom of the third. Jerry has his average now to .221. It's really been on a rise. 2 home runs, 21 runs batted in. The 1-0 pitch with Rivera going and a bad throw. Rivera steals second easily. Cedeno has to run the ball down in the outfield. Juan Rivera stealing second is quite a surprise, because the one thing Rivera doesn't do really is steal bases. The throw wasn't close by Ryan Domet, and it was probably a busted hit and run play, really. So Domet, we said, had been nailing 24% of the runners, but not that time. 1-1 to Sands, now trying to pick up Rivera from second base. 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball lifted to shallow right. Coming in for it is Garrett Jones to make the catch. Rivera nowhere to go but second base. And the batter will be Rod Barajas. So Sands, who goes to right and right center an awful lot, this time just a fly ball. And the batter Barajas, who doubled right on the chalk down the left field line back in the second inning. We've talked all year long, I guess, about Rod Barajas being a fly ball hitter. But of all current major leaguers, he has the highest career fly ball to ground ball ratio, believe it or not. I mean, he really stands out as a guy who hits the ball in the air. Rod takes a strike. So since Barajas has been in the big leagues, no one has hit a higher percentage of fly balls. Rather remarkable. 0-1 the count to the good-natured Mexican Rod Barajas. And he is all of that. Big guy at 6'3", soft-spoken, smiles easily, lives south of Del Mar. 0-1 the count. Here comes Locke, and it's waved at and missed. Pretty good sink on that pitch. I think that was more like his slider curve. 0-2. Barajas was born in Ontario. 36 years old. He just turned it here in September. 6'2" and about 230. No balls and 2 strikes. Locke ready. Here he comes. High, you guessed it. Fly ball, but foul down the right field line, out of play. And still 0-2. Rod Barajas says when he was a little kid growing up in Norwalk, he used to make believe he was a pitcher. He'd look up to the heavens when winding up, and he'd say, "I'm Fernando Valenzuela." And his mom would say to him, "No, you're not. You're Pedro Guerrero." Well, he was about 6 years old at the time. He thought he was Fernando. He loved Pedro, and his life really has been a lot more like Guerrero swinging the bat and a lot more by handling pitches. He takes inside, almost hit him on the hip. 1-2 the count to Rod Barajas. The reason that Rod Barajas wears number 28, you guessed it, mother knows best. That was Pedro Guerrero's old number. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Locke out of a stretch. Jeff delivers way off the plate. 2-2 the count. He's now made 60 pitches. That means he's made 25 pitches here in the inning. Locke reading Dummett with 2 out. Rivera taking his lead at second base. And the 2-2 pitch to Barajas is a check swing, the pitch high, ball 3. 3-2 to Rod. Waiting on deck, Russ Mitchell, who was robbed of a hit on a fine play in the second inning by Neil Walker. 3-2 to Rod Barajas. Locke taking time in between pitches, and 3-2, and it's foul to the screen. Big swing by Rod. 15 home runs, 44 runs batted in. In the minor leagues, his high was 23 home runs. In the big leagues, he had 21 home runs for the Rangers 6 years ago, 19 home runs for the Blue Jays 2 years ago, and now here he is with 15 with a few more games left this year. 3-2 to Rod Barajas. Here comes Jeff Locke. Fastball hit foul outside of third down the line. 3-2. Dodgers have an edge. They've won 3 of 5. If they win tonight, or if they win 2 of the remaining 3 games, they will clinch the series. Dodgers haven't lost a season series to Pittsburgh since 2000, when they went 4-5. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and Barajas hits a high foul, might go out of play. Dumit and Lee come over, and it's going to land right into the Pirate dugout and kangaroo out and go back up about 15 rows. So Ryan Dumit and Derek Lee over to look, but that's about all. 3-2 to count. When the Pirates come up in the 4th inning, they'll have Derek Lee, Garrett Jones, and Ryan Ludwig. Meanwhile, for Jeff Locke, this will be his 30th pitch in the inning. It will also be the 10th pitch to Rod Barajas. 3-2. Locke out of a stretch, and here he comes. And Barajas on a check swing. They look at first, no swing, says Tim Timmons, and it is ball 4.
First baseman, number 46, Russ Mitchell.
So a 10-pitch at bat for Rod Barajas to get his walk. And now the batter will be Russ Mitchell. As we mentioned, Neil Walker made a good play to take a hit away from him in the hole back in the second inning. So Barajas at first, Rivera at second, 2 out, 2 runs in, and the Dodgers lead 3-1. Jeff Locke ready, comes with a breaking ball and misses inside. He just keeps missing on that first pitch, and that's got him, I'm sure, really up the wall. Can't figure it out. Mitchell hitting 154. Locke out of a stretch, and the 1-0 pitch, fastball whacked foul outside of third. Jared Hughes, a right-hander, gets up down in the bullpen. Locke, we call him fastballs. He's really been in the middle 80s most of the time. I'm pretty sure that last pitch was a fastball, and yet the gun said only 83. Boy, Mitchell was really all over it. 1-1 to Russ Mitchell. For Locke, this inning has to feel like an eternity. And his 1-1 pitch on the way. Big ground ball to third. Alvarez steps on the bag, and that's it. So the Dodgers wind up getting 2 on a couple of base hits and a couple of walks. And at the end of 3-1 Dodgers. El Pollo Loco. Now for only $5, get one of 5 tasty combos. They're the combos other combos wish they could be. Catch them before they're gone. By your local Mazda dealer. And by Time Warner Cable. Lovely night here at Dodger Stadium, 66 degrees. Ray Searage putting his arm around young Jeff Locke, trying to make sure he doesn't get too discouraged. He made 33 pitches in that third inning. He has suddenly made 68 pitches in 3. Of course, Ray's been through the wars. He's pitched here as a left-hander. He knows what it's like to get your career started. So it's almost a father and son relationship as Ray Searage talks to young Jeff Locke. Meanwhile, Derek Lee, 0 for 1, grounded to third. Lee has a buck, hitting .359, 5 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Lee's a big man, 6'5", about 245. Strike, 1 and 2. Baseball certainly runs in the family. His father, LeRon, was a first-round pick of the Cardinals. Derek was a first-round pick by the Padres. His uncle Leon was a major leaguer. This time down he goes. So 1 away. That would be 4 strikeouts for Kuroda. Let's get you thinking a little bit. Trivia question for tonight. Only 3 players have hit home runs completely out of Dodger Stadium. Who's the only player to do it twice? Well, we'll give you the answer in a minute. 1 out, 4th inning, 3-1 Dodgers. Off speed, little change to Garrett Jones for a strike. Jones singled sharply to right field in the first inning. Scored on the error by D. Gordon. 0-1. Hit down the left field line, slicing foul, and will drop out of play. So Garrett Jones running down the line just in case. Now will come back. When Garrett was a little younger, it'd be 9 years ago, he was playing for Quad City, the Quad City River Bandits. That was the Midwest League. He hit 4 home runs in 1 game. 0-2. Ball 1. That was also his first year as a professional. Later on, 2 years later, he had 30 home runs in the minors. So he's got a lot of sock, and he had 21 home runs last year. 2-2. Garrett is 6'4". Oh, they're going to call him out. So down he goes. Kuroda works up there. Looked like a check swing. And foul tip. Apparently it grazed the bat. So a tough at bat for Garrett Jones. 5 strikeouts now for Kuroda. And the batter will be Ryan Ludwig. One of the problems for the Bucks have been striking out. Check swing foul, 0-1. The percentage you rate the Pirates at bats to their strikeouts, and they have the 3rd highest rate in the National League. 5 strikeouts tonight gets them over 1,200 strikeouts. No balls, 1 strike. Ground ball foul. 0-2 to Ryan Ludwig. Ludwig, pleasant man, kind of a guy who he comes over and introduces himself. Not too many do that, but he will. in the dirt with the fastball. Ludwig, we were talking about how strong he was. First time up, he had that pitch off the plate. Barely appeared to have hit it, and he made Kemp go back. And now he goes down. So for Kuroda, he winds up striking out the side. That gives him a half a dozen. And at the end of 3.5 innings, 3-1 Dodgers. Talking to the young left-hander who has to be a little discouraged, wondering, they all do after 2 rocky starts, do I really belong up here? Meanwhile, Jared Hughes will come in and pick up for him as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Jared, who prefers that name, his first name is William. He's from Stamford, Connecticut, but he lives in Aliso Viejo. And he was a dirtbag. He went to school at Long Beach State. 4th round pick about 5 years ago. Oh, we'll see how Jared Hughes goes. 26 years old. Big man. He is 6'7" and 233 pounds. Very impressive. Hasn't allowed a run. Has given up just 2 singles in his first 5 major league appearances. That's a strike. 1-1. Jamie Carroll grounded to short in the 2nd inning. Ball 2, 2-1. The Colossus of Rhodes, that's what you think of. Jared Hughes, 6'7", standing on that 10-inch mound. And ball 3. He made his debut against Houston on the 7th. Pitched inning and a third scoreless. Called up from Indianapolis. But he began the year in Double-A at Altoona. That's in there. 3-2 to Jamie Carroll, Hiroki Kuroda on deck, and then D. Gordon. Dodgers lead 3-1. Foul ball down the line. So Carroll trying to get something started. Was unable to pick up Barajas with the infield up in the 2nd inning, and he grounded to Cedeno. Ground ball up the middle, but Walker is there. So we have 1 away in the 4th inning, and the batter will be Hiroki Kuroda. So Jeff Locke went 3 innings and allowed 3 runs, 5 hits. He struggled, especially trying to get that first pitch in for a strike. He gave up 1 run in the second inning and then got into a mess of trouble in the third. Gordon singled, Sellers walked, Kemp singled home Gordon. Rivera hit into a force play, Sellers scoring from third. That's when Pedro Alvarez, trying to make the double play, threw off the bag. Walker really couldn't make much of a turn. 2-1 the count to Kuroda, who hit back to the box in the second inning. Hero hitting 107. Two and two. What's the future going to hold for Hiroki Kuroda? No one knows. He's rather philosophical about it. Will he stay with his daughters continuing their education here? Will he go back to Japan, play again for the Hiroshima Carp, where he was a great favorite? Maybe play 1 year, then retire. Will he come back here? No one knows yet. 2-2. Fouled at the plate. Hiroki 11-16, despite the fact his earned run average is better than 6 of the starting pitchers selected to the All-Star team this year. 2-2. Fastball. That was at 91, and Hiroki still made contact. 2-2 the count. When the Bucks come up in the 5th, bottom of the lineup, Alvarez, Cedeno, and Hughes. The Pirates have not gotten a lot of help from their bench this year. Kuroda, ground ball to Alvarez. That's the second out. All right, let's go to the trivia, shall we? Remember about the question? 3 players have hit home runs completely out of Dodger Stadium, and who is the only player to do it twice? Oh yes, one of our all-time favorites, Wilver Stargell, did it in 1969 and 1973. One note about Wilver Stargell, who was just a super guy to be around. He was the most valuable player for Pittsburgh in the 1979 season. He was the oldest MVP. He was 39. The bunt, there will not be a play. So one way or another, Gordon is going to burn you if he can. Though he drops that bunt single. Alvarez no chance. Got a good pitch to bunt too, up. Though he just dumped it. So Gordon now 2 for 3. Look at the picture of frustration on the face of Alvarez. And now let's see if they turn with 2 out, turn Gordon loose. Sellers has popped up and walked. Dodgers lead 3-1. And that's ball 1. Rivera, of all people, was given a stolen base in the 3rd inning. So we'll see about Gordon. 1 ball and no strikes to Justin. There goes Gordon. The pitch is a strike. The throw, he's in there. One of the things that made it very tough for Ryan Domit, he kind of bumped into Justin Sellers. Domit is not going to argue or anything like that, but watch the catcher coming up, and the pitch, he goes to turn, and of course the hitter, Sellers, entitled to stay in the box, and the throw not in time. Close, tag on the ribs, but the hand already on the bag. Watch Domit come up and just does lose his face mask as Gordon steals second base. Little ground ball to Alvarez. He'll go the long way, and a nice pick by Derek Lee, and that's the inning. No runs, a bunt single, and a stolen base for Gordon. And at the end of 4, 3-1 Dodgers. As part of our Fox Sports Supports charitable initiative, during the season on Prime Ticket, we proudly support Stand Up to Cancer and their work to fund groundbreaking research that helps accelerate treatment of patients. For more information, please visit standuptocancer.org/Fox Sports. Thank you. Fifth inning, Pedro Alvarez walked in the second inning. Fouls it back, 0-1 to Pedro. Alvarez hitting .195. 3 home runs, 15 runs batted in. He was on the DL from the 20th of May through the first week in July. So he missed a bit. So he has made 55 starts with the Pirates. Went out to AAA callback. 1-1. Ball 2. Alvarez hitting .200 against right-hand pitching and .170 against left-handers. When he came off the DL, he hit .174, so he had to go out AAA. 2-2 the count to Pedro Alvarez. Three runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 2 hits for the Pirates. Jeff Locke followed by Jared Hughes, and Hiroki Kuroda now pitching the 5th inning to qualify for a win. 3-2 the count. For Kuroda with that bad neck, and of course all we know is he's had treatment. How much it hurts, no one will ever know. He's not that type of player. 3-2 pitch, fouled away. His last game against the Giants, he was way off the mark. He allowed 3 earned runs, but he couldn't get through the 5th inning. He allowed 8 hits, was behind constantly, and had to come out. Before that, he lost a game in Washington, and again, each time we knew the neck was killing him. That's ball 4 to Alvarez. So Hiroki's trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Of course, he's had stretches this year. He had a 5-game losing streak, then a no decision, then another loss. So he had a 6-game losing streak. He won 1, then he lost 4. His longest streak of wins would be 4. So here's Cedeno. And ball 1 to Ronnie. Alvarez has walked twice. The Bucks have 1 run, 2 hits. The run came when the Dodgers failed to turn the double play. Cedeno batting .255. Ronnie from Carabobo in Venezuela. We told you about how aggressive he was in 2009 and 10. He's improved in that area. Signed by the Cubs 1999 and came up to Chicago 6 years ago. That's a strike. 1-1. 4 years with the Cubs, then time with the Mariners, and since then with Pittsburgh. One ball and 1 strike. High chopper slowly to third. Sellers for 1, and that's all. So Cedeno forces Alvarez. Jared Hughes is due up, but they might go to a pinch hitter now. So 1 out here in the 5th inning. Pedro Siraki will come up. Pedro, whom we have never seen before, has 6 RBIs, hitting .333. Just checking. He's been in 15 games. Pedro from San Pedro de Macorís. He'll be 26 in the 27th. Rick Honeycutt went out to talk to Kuroda about how to pitch him. He's been an all-star in the Southern League and in the California League and in the Midwest League. He was in the Futures game last year, so he's got some talent, that's for sure. He came to Pittsburgh from Arizona, along with catcher Chris Snyder in July of last year. Six-footer, about 170 pounds, and a comebacker. Kuroda to Gordon to first, and up jumps the Devil. Remember, we mentioned earlier at the start of the game that the Pirates hit in a ton of double plays, and they do right now. 1 to 6 to 3, and at the end of 4.5, 3-1 Dodgers. Clint Hurdle brings in his third pitcher, Daniel McCutchen, after Hiroki Kuroda has gone through his 5 innings, so he is the pitcher of record. Hiroki has made 72 pitches. Daniel McCutchen is a Texan, born in McKinney, Texas, lives in San Antonio. 6'2", about 210. Came to Pittsburgh from the Yankees, along with Jeff Karsten and Ross Ollendorf in the deal that sent Xavier Nady and Damaso Marte to New York. By the way, we mentioned the name Jeff Karstens. I'm not sure where Jeff is, but you know, the other night Clayton Kershaw was the nominee for the wonderful and prestigious Roberto Clemente Award, the nominee for the Dodgers, talking to Ted Lilly. Somewhere in the Pirate dugout or in the bullpen, Jeff Karsten is the nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award. And boy, does Clint Hurdle talk about the big heart of Jeff Karstens. I wish I could recognize him and put a spotlight on him. I don't think any of us know what he looks like. But boy, Hurdle telling me about all of the marvelous things that young fella does for charity, for hospitals, and the kind of a guy who does it without any fanfare. No media, no camera work, nothing. But at Children's Hospital almost every day when the Pirates are home, he must be quite a guy. Jeff Karsten, maybe we'll see him before this series is over. Jeff, by the way, just happens to be from San Diego and was drafted by the Yankees out of Texas Tech. Kemp with a no-ball, 2-strike count, and Daniel McCutchen trying to keep it 3-1. Off the plate. 1-2 the count. Kemp single to left and then single to left in the third inning to drive in a run. One and two to Matt. 111 runs batted in. And down he goes. So Kemp, you can balance the books. 111 runs batted in. He has scored 99. And he has struck out 148 times. So here now is Juan Rivera. Rivera has popped a short, hit into a force play. That's when the Pirates were unable to turn a double play, and Sellers scored from third. 1 ball and no strikes. Fastball got the inside corner. Daniel hits 92 on the gun. One out, 5th inning. Dodgers 3, Pirates 1. Ground ball to third. Alvarez is on it. So 2 down here in the 5th inning. That'll bring up Jerry Sands. A reminder, Dodger and Bruin fans unite for UCLA night at Dodger Stadium Tuesday at 7:10. Dodgers and Giants. Fans in attendance receive a blue and gold LA cap, compliments of State Farm. To show your support for both teams, buy your tickets now at Dodgers.com/promotions. Our local college teams, UCLA, will be battling on Saturday in the daytime against Texas. And then USC plays at night. UCLA in the Rose Bowl. USC against Syracuse at night. Jerry Sands, whose power is the other way and likes to go the other way a lot. Double to right center, fly to right, so that's the way they play him. Presley straight over towards right center. A huge gap from left field to Ludwig to Alex Presley. 1-2 the count to Jerry Sands. By the way, when the Bucks come up in the 6th, top of the lineup, Presley, Walker, and Dummett, and Lee hitting 4th. Hiroki has made 72 pitches so far. 2-2 to Jerry Sands. Ball 3. So Locke went 3, charged with 3 runs. Then Hughes pitched the 4th, gave up a base hit but nothing else. The bunt singled by Gordon. And now here's Daniel McCutchen. 3-2. Off the plate. So the slider misses, and with 2 out, Rod Barajas coming up. We were chatting with Tommy Lasorda before the ball game, and we were talking about the slider. And Tommy was saying, I will never forget Al Campanis talking to a general manager who was complaining that his pitchers had a lot of sore arms. And Campanis said to the GM, do any of them throw sliders? And the GM said, all of them. And Campanis said, there's your problem. The slider will cause more sore arms than anything else. And then I got to thinking, I remember Whitey Ford of the Yankees. He didn't want to throw a slider. Basically, you have to throw the slider, they tell me, with a stiff wrist. It puts tremendous pressure on the arm. So when you keep reading about sore arm pitchers, there are those who feel it's because of the use of the slider. It also apparently increases the Tommy John surgery. 2-0 to Barajas, who has doubled and walked 1 for 1. Dodgers lead 3-1. Bottom of the 5th. There goes the runner. Sands, the throw by Dummett, short hop, and the tag is made. Nice play at the bag to take care of Sands. Dodgers go down as Dummett gets his man. And at the end of 5, 3-1 Dodgers. But there was a memorable night where the Dodgers lost. It was on this day in '88. Dodgers were in Cincinnati, and it was raining. In fact, they sat around and waited 2 hours and 27 minutes until the game started. Tim Belcher against Tom Browning. Tom Browning beat the Dodgers that night and pitched a perfect game. Tim Belcher had a no-hitter into the 6th inning. The rain delay was 2 hours and 27 minutes. Time of the game, 1 hour and 51 minutes. And with that, let's get back to this one. Dodgers trying to hold on to a 3-1 lead. Hiroki Kuroda has made 72 pitches, and it'll be Presley, Walker, and Domit in that order. Presley grounded out, popped up, 0 for 2. Ball 1. Talking about sore arms and sliders, Hiroki Kuroda has 2 pitches that could bother him. That's ball 2. He throws a slider, and he also throws another pitch that can wreak havoc on the arm, the splitter. 2-0. That's a strike. Roger Craig, who pitched for years with the Dodgers and came up with a great splitter. And when he was managing the Giants, Roger, I believe, wanted to have his pitchers learn to throw the splitter. But Al Rosen was the general manager, and he put his foot down, saying, absolutely none of my pitchers are going to throw the splitter. That's just asking for a sore arm. Well, Hiroki has defied the slider and the splitter. 3-1 to Presley. 3-2. Presley hitting .305, 2 home runs, 15 runs batted in. I agree with my wife. In profile, he does look a little bit. High drive into right center field. That's got a lot behind it, and it is gone. So Alex Presley hits it out. Dodger lead is cut to 3-2 for Presley. That's his 3rd home run. 16 runs batted in. Fastball out over the plate, and out she goes. For Hiroki Kuroda, in giving up a home run ball, that is the 22nd that he's allowed. And the Bucks now within 1 as Presley gets 5. Three runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 3 hits for the Pirates. The fan who caught the ball, the home run by Presley, threw it back onto the field. So that's the reason for the delay. Now here's Neil Walker, who doubled to right and flied to center. Ball 1. Walker hitting .272. 1-1. The Pirates do not have a lot of power. They're 14th in the league in home runs. That's all the way to the backstop. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Of course, just to balance the scales, we talk about the Pirates not having a lot of power. They have 101 home runs. So your question is, well, how about the Dodgers? The Dodgers have 103. Well, about the same. And that's hammered into right field for a base hit. So a home run, a line drive single to right, tying runs aboard, and Ryan Domit coming up.
Catcher number 41, Ryan Domit.
Domit has struck out twice. So the switch hitting catcher, if you look at his numbers, he's been pretty consistent. came into the game hitting .298 left, .319 right. Only struck out 31 times this year coming into the game, so this is an off night for him to strike out twice. Time. Each side scored in the second inning. Dodgers got 2 more in the third. Now the Bucks get the home run by Presley here in the sixth. They inch closer. That's in there for a strike. Walker over at first base has stolen 7, but he's been caught 5 times. 0-1 to count. When you have a contact hitter like Orion Domit, despite the fact he has struck out twice tonight, his records say he is a contact hitter. And you have Walker with 7 stolen bases. Pirates have shown a desire to run a little bit. Walker's not going. Ground ball to the hole into right field. Walker will stop at second. Sands able to get it back in. So just like that, a home run and 2 singles. And you start to wonder about Hiroki Kuroda. He had made 84 pitches, and Scott Elbert, the left-hander, gets up in the Dodger bullpen as Derek Lee checks in at the plate. Jamie Carroll trying to flag that ground ball but couldn't do it. So the tying runs at second, a possible go-ahead run at first, and here's Derek Lee. Grounded to third and struck out. Lee has certainly hurt Kuroda in the past. He came into the game hitting .444 against him, but pops it up behind the bag, the infield fly rule, and Gordon is there to catch it. So Lee didn't hang around. He goes 0 for 3. 1 out, 2 on, and the batter is Garrett Jones. Jones singled to right and struck out. 1 for 2. Kuroda trying to battle his way out of the inning. He's now made 85 pitches, 13 in the inning. He's given up a home run, 2 singles, and he got the pop fly off the bat of Derek Lee. Fouled away, 0-1. Garrett Jones, 2 for 3 on last Monday night, but in his last 15 games, a little more than 2 weeks, hitting .189. Overall batting average .248, and he does have sock. 15 home runs, 56 runs batted in. In on the hands, it's going to be a strike. 0-2. On deck, Ryan Ludwig. No balls and 2 strikes. 1-2. That was up at 93. Hiroki is ready to make his 89th pitch. In his last game against the Giants, he made 94 pitches in less than 5 innings. Foul back again. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Scott Elbert has been throwing. They didn't need him to come into Jones, but Josh Lindblom, who turned in a remarkable performance the other night in relief of Clayton Kershaw. Remember the big right-hander came in and pitched 2 innings and struck out 5. Well, he's getting ready. 1-2 to Garrett Jones. Time. The outfield very deep and straight away. Even Rivera in left field is very deep for a left-hand hitter. 1-2 to Jones. And a little foul. That'll go out of play. 1-2. Hiroki Kuroda huffing and puffing a little bit. He's now made 90 pitches. For Garrett Jones, here's a hard worker who spent about 11 years in the minor leagues. He was 28 before he had a chance to play in the big leagues. He spent 5 years at AAA. And pops it up. And it will be whom? It'll be Loney. The infield fly rule called again. So with a rally starting, Mitchell, I should say, not Loney. After the home run by Presley, Walker and Domet get base hits. Lee pops it up. Jones pops it up. So 2 infield fly pop flies, and Ryan Ludwig coming up. Interesting, too. The Pirates came in here. They were 4th in a ratio of ground outs to air outs. Ball 1. The 2 infield pop flies with 2 on, and the Dodgers still lead 3-2. Ryan Ludwig fly to center, struck out 0 for 2. Clint Hurdle working on the gum. He used to bounce a baseball a lot, but he no longer does that. When he managed Colorado, he would bounce the ball, and when things got really tough, he'd walk up and down bouncing the ball in the dugout. It got to remind people of the Kane Mutiny. Captain Queeg with the little balls, the steel balls in his hand, and Clint finally felt it was bothering the team, and he gave it up. So he'll just work the gum. 1-0 to Ludwig. Fastball fouled away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ludwig hitting .241. Ryan has 12 home runs, 72 runs batted in. Ludwig's been a pro since 1999. One ball, 1 strike. Good fastball. So Hiroki still has some gas in the tank. That was 94. That was the challenge pitch, and he was able to throw it right by Ludwig. Ryan had that breakout year in 2008 with the Cardinals. 37 home runs, 113 runs batted in, and a .299 batting average. He has not come back anything close to that. Up there now in a big spot, 1-2. And another fastball at 94 blows him away. So Hiroki meets the challenge head on, gets Lee, Jones, and Ludwig. The Pirates lead 2, and it's still Dodgers 3, Pirates 2. Right center, Rod Barajas hits the chalk with his double down the left field line. That scored Sands, and Rod was able to breeze into third, and the Dodgers had tied up the game. Then in the third inning, they scored 2 against young Jeff Locke, and they lead 3-2, bottom of the 6th. Rod Barajas followed by Russ Mitchell and then Jamie Carroll. Barajas doubled and walked. When he walked in the third inning, that probably took a lot out of Jeff Locke. Tonight is Star Wars night, and there's some marvelous costumes in the stands. And it's not even Halloween. Rod Barajas hitting .234. Right, 0-1. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Hung-Chi Kuo begins to loosen up. 0-2 the count to Rod. Pedro Alvarez, the left-hand hitting third baseman, is due to lead off in the 7th inning. Kuroda is due to bat 4th here in the bottom of the 6th. Off the plate, Rod chased it, pays the price. Second strikeout for Daniel McCutchen. He got Matt Kemp in the 5th inning. And Russ Mitchell coming up. Mitchell robbed of a hit on a nice play by Neil Walker, plugging up a hole on the right side. And then last time up, Mitchell hit into a force play at third. Russ getting a chance to play first base. He played third base last night. Fastball foul back. McCutchen throwing 90. Boy, Kuroda was pretty impressive there, pitching to Jones and Ludwig and hitting 94. He made 23 pitches, so he made 95 so far in the game. Trying to win his 12th. In there. There was a note that we gave you way back at the start of the game. Should Kuroda lose tonight, he would be the first Dodger pitcher to lose 17 games since Fernando Valenzuela. That's right. That's smothered at third by Alvarez, and he throws it by Derek Lee. So Mitchell is safely aboard. So it was a great diving stop by Pedro, but then his hurried throw was low and Lee unable to handle it. It'll go as a base hit. Great effort. And then the hurried throw. Lee trying to vacuum it up and couldn't do it. Take another look. Figure you can't even get up from there to make a play, but he sure tried and almost did it. So Mitchell an infield single. He's 1 for 3. And the batter now, Jamie Carroll, 0 for 2. Three runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Pirates. McCutchen gives up a hit. Aaron Miles comes out on deck. Miles will bat for Kuroda. Russ Mitchell over at first base has only played in 19 games. He only had 38 at-bats until tonight. He does not have a stolen base, nor has he been involved in one. But with Jamie Carroll, you never know, especially with Aaron Miles now on deck. Almost got him. 1 ball, no strikes. Daniel McCutchen in his 68th game. 41 strikeouts, 31 walks. 1-0. Carroll, a ground ball base hit into left field. So the Dodgers now, with 1 out, have runners at first and second. Aaron Miles will be coming up to bat for Hiroki Kuroda. So the Pirates had a golden opportunity and blew it in the 6th inning. The Dodgers now trying to cash it in here in the bottom half. Aaron Miles has had a very good year, and more than that, he has just been dynamite with runners on base. Hitting .282, 43 runs batted in. Miles, a switch hitter, will be batting left-handed. Give you an idea of how valuable he has been. He's hitting .327 with runners in scoring position, .362 with runners on base. All that does is lead the National League. Check swing. A look, a swing, says Jeff Kellogg. 0-1. Daniel Moscos throwing down in the Pirate bullpen. And he's going to be joined by Chris Resop. 3 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Pirates. With 1 out, 2 hits against the pitcher McCutchen. And an 0-2 count on Miles. Miles has played an awful lot. Made 41 starts at third base, 62 games at second base. He's a .300 hitter right-handed and .275 left-handed. But believe it or not, .429 coming off the bench. And he's done it again. A base hit to center. They will hold Mitchell on the strong throw cut off by Derek Lee. So the amazing Mr. Miles, another base hit. And the Dodgers have loaded the bases for D. Gordon.
Batting next, shortstop number 9, D. Gordon.
So Presley gets it back in. And I think that's going to be all from McCutchen. Yep. Clint Hurdle on his way out to the mound. For Daniel McCutchen, it all started with Mitchell's single. It was really a great save by Alvarez. and then Carroll single, Miles single to load him up, and we'll be back. Gives up 3 hits. Well, it has to be a little maddening for the young right-hander. He gave up a hit to Mitchell on a no-ball 2-strike count and came right back and gave up a no-ball 2-strike base hit to Aaron Miles. So 28 pitches, but he gives up 3 hits to load the bases, and they look now to Daniel Moskos. Moskos, a left-hander out of South Carolina, lives over in Phoenix. 25 years old. He was a first-round pick by the Pirates 4 years ago. Moskos went to Damien High School, named to the San Gabriel Valley and Inland Valley All-Star teams as a senior. He was an All-Southern California pick. So Moskos inheriting a tough spot. The infield is halfway, and Gordon, a ground ball backhanded by Lee, who bounces the throw to Cedeno for a force play. Meanwhile, Mitchell scores, and the Dodgers lead 4-2. And for Gordon, he gets a run batted in. The only real play that Lee had was to go to the plate, but he went down on his knees, took a pretty sizable divot. He was able to force Miles, but gave up the run in doing so, and we have 2 out. So Lee spikes apparently caught, and that gives the Dodgers an extra run to lead 4-2. And now Clint's going back out to go to the bullpen again. Moskos got Gordon, and we'll be right back. Up out of Naples, Florida, went to Barron Collier High School. He was a 4th-round pick by the Marlins about 10 years ago. A very good quarterback in high school, and gave up football to concentrate on baseball in his senior year. Many teams wanted to draft Rhys-Hobbs, but during a workout before the 2001 draft, Rhys-Hobbs hit a dozen baseballs into the club section in Pro Player Stadium. So the Marlins said, wait a minute, what have we got here? And they signed him as an outfielder. However, once he went to the outfield, he struggled. At the end of 2.5 years as an outfielder, he was hitting 193. And as Chris said, I was just a dead standstill. Didn't want to sleep, didn't want to eat. It was awful. So then Steve Phillips, the manager in Greensboro, said, okay, why don't we start you at the mound? And it's worked. Chris Rhys-Hobbs will be 29 in November, and he'll face James Loney batting for Justin Sellers. Loney hitting .273, 9 home runs, 52 runs batted in. First and third, 2 out. Dodgers lead 4-2. Loney has not done well as a pinch hitter. He's 1 for 10 coming off the bench, far more accustomed to starting. Will Loney take over first base? Russ Mitchell could very well move over to third. There goes the runner, Gordon, and he will steal second. That would be his second stolen base, and it gives Young D 21 stolen bases. Loney has had a hot hand over the last 3 weeks. He's hit .355. Up there now 2-0. The Dodgers at second and third, leading 4-2, with 1 out, 3 straight hits and a force play, and now 2-0 the count to Loney. Ball 3. Loney looking to Wallach. On deck, of course, Matt Kemp. So Chris Rhys-Hobbs working on Loney, 3-0. Loney has been green lighted a couple of times. A 3-0 pitch. Yep. 3-1. Well, Chris Rhys-Hobbs, he not only bounced around as Matt Kemp waits, he also pitched in Japan. He pitched over there for Hanshin Tigers 2 years. And foul ball down the line, out of play. 3-2. So 3-2, 2 out, runners at second and third, a run in, and the Dodgers, who have led since the third inning, 3-1, then 3-2, now 4-2. Three and 2 to James. And a drive into right center field and deep on the dead run, and having to play it off the wall. Garrett Jones instead watches it go into the seats. So James Loney allowed to swing 3-0, couldn't do it. 3-2, he hits it out. Garrett Jones out there in right field playing the ball. Looked like he was waiting for it to come back, and it never did. So for Loney, a big blast to open it up, 7-2. Fastball at the knees over the plate. And that's a honey spot for him. There you can see Jones waiting for it to come back. It never did indeed. For James, his 10th home run. He has 55 runs batted in. Matt Kemp fouls it away. Loney's last home run was August the 27th against Colorado's Rafael Betancourt. So he went 15 games and hits another. So 7-2 Dodgers here in the 6th inning. Kemp ground ball to third. Alvarez makes the play, and that's it. But the damage has been done. A 3-run home run with first base open because of Kemp on deck. First career home run pinch hit by Loney. Run and a 3-run dinger at that. The Dodgers score 4 in the 6th inning and break it open to lead 7-2. Aaron Miles, who batted for Kuroda, will stay in the game at third base. Loney will take over at first, and on the mound, Hong-Chi Kuo. Kuo will be pitching to Pedro Alvarez, then Ronnie Cedeno. And we'll see about a hitter for Rizan. So Hong-Chi Kuo, the last time he was on the mound, some fireworks here with Gerardo Parra. And we'll see how he goes here in the 7th inning against Pedro Alvarez, a left-hand hitter. So Hiroki Kuroda goes a strong 6. Turned in a very fine performance, and especially in the 6th inning. He had given up a home run to Presley, singles to Walker and Domit, and then got Lee and Jones to pop up on the infield and struck out Ludwig. So let's see about Kuo throwing strikes. In there. Alvarez has walked twice. Hitting 195. 0-2. For Hong-Chi Kuo, a lot at stake. Trying to get over it and throw strikes. Oh, 2. Kuo has struck out 32, but he has walked 21. He's allowed one more hit than innings pitched, so he's been fighting it. 2-2. Alvarez trying to get aboard any way he can with the club down by 5. 2-2 to Pedro. Fastball got him. Not unusually fast for Quo. It was 90, but it was enough to take care of Alvarez. Quo, while he was in there, struck out 7. Kuroda struck out 7. Now Quo comes in and nails 1. And the batter is Ronnie Cedeno, twice hit into force plays. Jason Jaramillo is out on deck. He would bat for Rysop. Cedeno batting .254. The shortstop with 2 home runs, 31 runs batted in. 0-1. Foul back. 0-2. Each side scored in the second inning. Dodgers scored 2 in the third. Pirates had a golden chance but had to settle for 1. That was 3-2 Dodgers. And then the Dodgers broke it open with 4 in the bottom of the 6th. Fouled away. Ronnie Cedeno trying to get something started. We saw young Chase Darno play short last night. Ronnie from Venezuela, been in the big leagues up and down for 6 years. Foul back. Still 0-2. And down he goes. So not only has Quo struck out the first 2, the last 3 Pirates have struck out. Ludwig against Kuroda, and now Alvarez and Cedeno. And here's Jaramillo.
Attention please for the Pirates. Pinch hitting number 35, Jason Jaramillo.
Jaramillo, right-hand batter, hitting .381. He has 3 runs batted in. Only been in 12 games. Jaramillo from Wisconsin. It was a swap of catchers that brought Jason to Pittsburgh. He came from Philadelphia in a deal that sent Ronnie Paulino to the Phils. 0-2. Jaramillo, an all-star in the International League 2 years in a row. Member of Team USA in the World Cup. They played in Taiwan. They won the gold medal. Now here he is facing the pride of Taiwan, Hung-Chi Quo. 1-2. (7-2) Dodgers, top of the 7th inning. And the big blow, a 3-run pinch hit home run, first of his career by James Loney. Fastball. Ground ball to the hole. Smothered at second base by Carroll to get him. How many times has he done that? So Jamie Carroll chasing a base hit away, and another diving, smothering stop on the grass, and then gets up and throws his man out. And at the end of 6.5, 7-2 Dodgers.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's ball.
Rivera, who's on the outside looking in without a hit. Nevertheless, he does have a run batted in. Everybody else very much involved, and especially James Loney, who just got in the game, and that 3-run pinch hit home run. So in the bottom of the 7th inning, the Dodgers will look at the 6th Pirate pitcher, Brian Burris, out of Oregon City, Oregon, and the left-hander ready to make his pitch to Rivera. Ball 1. Rivera facing Burris, 30 years old, only been in 2 games. And that's popped foul off the plate. Dumit has a play, makes the catch. So Rivera goes 0 for 4 as he fouls out. 1 away. And Jerry Sands coming up.
For the Dodgers, right fielder number 47, Jerry Sands.
Brian Burris has been around, pitched a little while in the Baltimore organization. Then he went over to Toronto, was with Pittsburgh last year. He was signed as a minor league free agent, and here he is in his third game this year. One thing about him in his brief appearances, 1 walk and 7 strikeouts. By the way, that was quite a performance in the 7th inning for Hung-Chi Kuo. Kuo has had his problems with control, but in that 7th inning he went 0-2 to all 3 hitters, struck out 2 of them, and made 14 pitches. Bottom of the 7th, 1 out. Jerry Sands up there hitting .219. Jerry doubled to right center, flied to right, and walked. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Scott Elbert begins to loosen up. Pop foul out of play. 2-2. 7 runs, 10 hits for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 5 hits for the Pirates. Dodgers, remember, have not lost a season series to Pittsburgh since the year 2000. That year they lost 5 of 9. Sands got a little of that. Giants beat the Rockies 9-1. Madison Bumgarner made it back from 0-6 to even his record at 12-12. The Giants have won 6 in a row, but they still trail Arizona by 6 games. Padres shut out the Diamondbacks 2-0. Tim Stauffer won it, and Heath Bell came up with his 38th save. The Tigers in the American League clinched the Central Division with a 3-1 victory over Oakland. Their closer, Jose Valverde, remained perfect. 45 saves, 45 opportunities. Fouled out of play. In 2008, Brad Lidge went 48 for 48, including the postseason, to help the Phillies win the World Series. Two and 2 to Jerry Sands. 7-2 Dodgers, 7th inning. 3-2. It's been Locke, Hughes, McCutchen, Moscas, Resop, and Burris. Game 3, that'll be tomorrow night. Former Dodger James McDonald. Fly ball, pop fly to Walker. And we have 2 down in the 7th inning. Say, friends, be sure to catch all the action of this year's Major League Baseball postseason on Fox and TBS. The excitement begins September 30th with the Division Series on TBS. The 30th is a Friday. The season ends on Wednesday. So here's Barajas, doubled, walked, and struck out. A.J. Ellis comes out on deck. 1 ball and no strikes. So Barajas hitting .233, 15 home runs, 44 runs batted in. 2-0. Popped up. Looks like Lee. Walker coming over. It will be Lee. And that'll do it for the Dodgers in the 7th inning. 1-2-3. They haven't gone 1-2-3 all night, but they lead 7-2. take a shot at the Bucks in the 8th inning, and vice versa. Presley, Walker, and Dumet will be coming up. Presley grounded out, popped up, and homered. And for Scott Elbert, he has scoreless relief 21 of his last 23 appearances. Since the 6th of July, he has really come on. An ERA of less than 1. The opposition hitting .214 against him. At home, he has really been remarkable. He's had 14 innings here, and he has struck out 15. So Scott Elbert, once upon a time a first-round pick 7 years ago, had lots of problems. I think the Dodgers, when they signed him, saw him as a starting pitcher. Didn't quite work, but he's really come into his own now, coming out of the pen. And that's a strike to Presley. Alex hitting .310. And just foul outside of third. 0-2. Alex Presley from Monroe, Louisiana. He went to the University of Mississippi. Played baseball, soccer, and football, but in football, because of his soccer experience, he was a kicker. Can't kick on that. Down he goes. So Elbert gets a strikeout. 10 Pirates have struck out. 4 of the last 5 Pirates have struck out. Jaramillo, the pinch hitter, lost a base hit on a fine play by Jamie Carroll. So here's Neil Walker. Double, single, fly to center. Made an excellent play on a ball hit by Russ Mitchell in the 2nd inning. So he's done well, and hitting .273. What better Pirate to do well than someone born in Pittsburgh? Neil Walker usually is up around the plate a lot. He averages 4 pitches per plate appearance. Doesn't usually swing at the first pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Neil Walker is hitting .273. One reason, he can motor. He's had 22 infield hits. Little pop foul. Loney on the run and makes the catch. So nice play by James. Walker is denied. You have to know the territory, said the music man, and Loney certainly knows that area. Took 1 look, knew where he was, skidded, held on. Nice play by James. That fan giving him a wild berth, and the youngster shying away. Good for both of them. So here's Ryan Dumet, the catcher, switch hitter, turning around to hit right-handed. The paid attendance tonight, nice crowd. Friday night, fireworks, beautiful evening. And Star Wars night, 41,148 paid. Or to put it the proper way, 41,148 tickets sold. 7-2 Dodgers in the 8th. Pirates had a big shot, a real look at the game, and have just shut down ever since. Chopper up the middle, that'll be a base hit. After Presley homered in the 6th inning, that made it Dodgers 3, Pirates 2. Neil Walker single to right. Ryan Dumet single to right. And it looked like Hiroki Kuroda was on the ropes. But he got Derek Lee, the big first baseman, to pop up. He got Garrett Jones, the right fielder, to pop up, and for good measure, he blew Ryan Ludwig away with a couple of high fastballs. Meanwhile, the youngsters are here with Dad. Various costumes throughout the night. They're just warming up for Halloween. Little ground ball. Loney will take it before it goes foul, and that's that. So no runs, 1 hit, and at the end of 7 1/2, Scott Elbert walks off laughing to Rod Barajas. Scored 4 runs. It was tight, 3-2, and then there was the ground ball base hit by Mitchell. The throw by Alvarez getting away from Derek Lee. That followed with Jamie Carroll's base hit into left field, and the Dodgers had 2 on and nobody out. Aaron Miles then singled to center. That loaded up the bases. D. Gordon hit into a force play for a run, and James Loney hit a 3-run pinch hit home run, and the Dodgers scored 4 to take the 7-2 lead. Well, Scott Elbert worked an inning. He will now give way to A.J. Ellis. It'll be Ellis, Carroll, and Miles. So A.J. checking in, hitting .264, 2 home runs, 8 runs batted in. Interesting note about the Milwaukee Brewers. Ball 1. Ryan Braun not only hit 2 home runs tonight in Cincinnati, he also joined Matt Kemp as the only big leaguers this year in the 30-30 club. 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. Ellis, a fly ball to right field. Jones is there. 1 away. Brewers leading the Cardinals by 5.5 in the Central, beat the Reds 6-3. And by the way, it was Bronson Arroyo who gave up one of Braun's home runs. 3 more to make it 44 home runs allowed. Brett Myers with 31, Ted Lilly with 29. As we mentioned the other night, Robin Roberts is in the Hall of Fame, and 1 year he gave up 46 home runs. However, there's more to the home run story. 0-2. Little bit of perspective on Arroyo's home runs allowed. He's only 6 away from having allowed the most home runs ever in a single season. That belongs to Hall of Famer Bert Blyleven, who allowed 50 home runs in 1986 when he was with the Twins. Robin's high, the 46, was in 1956. Roberts had great control. He was always around the plate. That was one reason why he gave up so many home runs. He allowed 505, 6 short of the new record holder. That's Jamie Moyer with 511. Arroyo, by the way, is now 8-12 this year. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, one out, bottom of the eighth, 7-2 Dodgers. Carroll 1 for 3. Matt Guerrier in the bullpen. Check swing foul. Jamie Carroll hitting .288. Aaron Miles on deck. Tomorrow night, game 3 of the series, James McDonald, and he'll go against Ted Lilly. McDonald chewing on something as he leans on the railing. Carroll, meanwhile, pop fly. Walker out. Presley in. Presley making the play. So 2 out in the 8th, and Aaron Miles coming up. Miles, as usual, an absolute terror with men on base. And sure enough, with 2 on and 1 out in the 6th inning, he singled to center field to load him up. James McDonald, who pitches tomorrow night, was born here in Long Beach, went to Golden West Community College. And James was an 11th round pick by the Dodgers. That was back in 2002. Right now, looks like he's chewing on some toothpicks. He's the son of former National League football receiver James McDonald. Red Sox outfielder Darnell McDonald is his cousin. So he's got a lot of athletic genes. Very impressive. James is 6'5", 195-pounder. And we'll see him tomorrow night going up against Ted Lilly. 26 years old. He'd be 27 in October. 2-1 the count. Little pop foul off to the right. Here comes Derek Lee. It's amazing. Aaron Miles makes his outs with the bases empty. You put a man on base and he's a terror. Dodgers go quietly, 7 in a row since Loney's home run. They lead 7-2. And Matt Guerrier will be called in. Guerrier made 19 pitches in the 8th inning last night. He's in his 67th game. He is a workhorse. In his last 4 years, he's been in 73, 76, 79, and 74 games, all for the Minnesota Twins. So 67, he figures with a few games left, he might make it to 70 for the 5th straight year. Standing in his way here in the 9th inning will be Garrett Jones, Ryan Ludwig, and Pedro Alvarez. It's been Kuroda for 6, Quo for an inning, Elbert for an inning, and now Guerrier. Garrett Jones single to right, struck out and popped up in that one look the Pirates had in the 6th inning. Dodgers got one look and broke the game open with 4 in the 6th. 0-1. Cracked bat, foul ball. He'll have to get another. All of us bad hitters can hear that. Matt Guerrier has held the opposition to a .238 batting average. The first batter that he faces is hitting in the 240s. He has really been a workhorse. He leads the majors since 2007, 369 appearances. This year he opened up the year 9 straight scoreless outings. Matt, 33, from Cleveland, Ohio, lives in Shaker Heights. Originally a 10th round pick by the White Sox. Bad ball. Jones chases, pays the price. So all of a sudden, the Bucks are striking out a lot. Kuroda had 7. Quo had 2. That's 9. Elbert got 1 for 10. Guerrier now for 11. And Ryan Ludwig. Ludwig went 3 and 2 in the 2nd inning and flied to center deep. But he struck out in the 4th and struck out in the 6th. Right, 0-1. One and one. Matt, basically a lot of two-seam sinkers. He has a slider and a curveball. Pretty good change. Not a dominating pitcher, but he gets the job done. 1-2 the count to Ryan Ludwig. Ludwig with 2 strikeouts tonight has struck out 114 times. Andrew McCutchen leads the club with 115. Fouled away. 7 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error for the Dodgers. The error by D. Gordon actually gave Pittsburgh its run in the 2nd inning, trying to make a double play. Big slow pitch at 79. 2-2. So Kuroda, Quo, Elbert, and Guerrier. Hiroki will win his 12th. 3-2 to Ryan. Victory by the Dodgers tonight will give them 4 of 6 against the Pirates this year. And hit to center. Matt Kemp in a hurry picks it off and then drops it. So Matt Kemp draws the error, dropping the fly ball.
Third baseman number 24, Pedro Alvarez.
Had it all the way, one-handed it, and lost it. For Kemp, that would be his 5th error. In, around, and out. So with Ludwig aboard, Pedro Alvarez the batter. And a strike. Coming into the game, Dodgers have been playing pretty well defensively. They had not committed an error in 6 straight games, but they've committed 2 errors tonight. one of them in the second inning. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Pedro Alvarez, Ronnie Cedeno on deck. One and 2. Alvarez walked twice, struck out, made a great smothering stop on the ball hit by Mitchell, but then got up and threw it in the dirt. Derek Lee couldn't handle it. It went as a base hit, but that was a big play. Otherwise, it would have been the second out. Instead, it was the first hit, and the Dodgers went on to get 2 more hits, a force play, and then the big home run by Loney. 2-2 to Pedro, hitting 194. Off the plate, off the glove. So that's probably a pass ball, and that's what it should be. So the Dodgers playing a little casual. Kemp drops the fly ball. Barajas plays kind of a tired man's pass ball. Well, why not? For the Dodgers, game number 150. And ball 4. So the error, the pass ball, and the walk, and Ronnie Cedeno will be coming up.
Shortstop number 5, Ronnie Cedeno.
Ronnie Cedeno twice hit into force plays and struck out. Clint Hurdle has gone to his bench twice and has gotten a pinch hitter to hit into a double play, and also to have a pinch hitter robbed of a hit. And Xavier Paul, the former Dodger, comes out on deck, and he would bat for Burris. Xavier Paul. One ball and no strikes. That's a strike. 1-1. Pirates are the 14th lowest in pinch hit RBIs. 2 on, 1 out, 9th inning, 7-2 Dodgers. And fouled away. Cedeno hitting .254, trying to keep the inning alive. For the Dodgers, Kuroda, Quo, Elbert, and Guerrier. The Pirates, Locke, Hughes, McCutchen, Moskis, Resop, and Burris. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Check swing, no swing, says Tim Timmons. 2-2. Javi Guerra now gets up in the Dodger bullpen, just in case. Guerrier last night gave up a couple of runs, struggled a little bit in making 19 pitches. Two and two. Fastball hit the left field, moving over Rivera. So Cedeno a fly ball to left field, 2 down in the 9th inning, and Xavier Paul will be coming up. The Guerrier trying to nail it down. Xavier Paul from Slidell, Louisiana, originally drafted by the Dodgers 8 years ago out of high school, and made all the usual stops. Ogden, Columbus, Vero, Jacksonville, Vegas. Came to the Dodgers briefly in '09, then to Albuquerque. Came up to the Dodgers last year. Played 7 games this year with the Dodgers and moved on to Pittsburgh. Coming out of high school, Xavier had committed to go to Tulane University, but the Dodgers talked him out of signing with Tulane and signing with them. Xavier has a brother, Matt Paul, who's also an outfielder, last we heard, in the Dodger organization. Pirates claimed him off waivers. Xavier, 5'9", about 200, 26 years old. Oh, and 1 time. Xavier Paul, when he talks about his time with the Dodgers, he said, I played a lot with some great players. Juan Pierre, Garrett Anderson, Manny Ramirez, Casey Blake. And he said, I think I learned a lot just sitting on the bench. Line foul into the stands. 41,148 tickets sold. Oh, 2. Xavier Paul says he always wanted to wear a Pirate uniform because his father was a big Roberto Clemente fan. Didn't work for him, and down he goes. And the Dodgers leave 2 and win going away despite an error by Kemp and a pass ball by Barajas. 7 runs, 10 hits, and 2 errors for the Dodgers. For the Pirates, 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. Kuroda, the winner, he's now 12-16, 2-0 against Pittsburgh, and 5-1 lifetime. Young Jeff Locke is the loser for the Pirates. A reminder, James McDonald tomorrow night against Ted Lilly. Stay tuned now for Dodgers Live coming up next. Good night, everybody.